Spencer West. Throughout history, we as individuals in a global community have faced situations that have been deemed impossible. When we said we wanted to go to the moon, we were told impossible. But in 1969, with the help of NASA, Neil Armstrong proved that this was possible. When a young man with a spinal cord injury wanted to wheel around the world to raise awareness and funds for disability, many people said, impossible. But through the Man in Motion World Tour, Rick Hansen proved in his own words that anything is possible. And in 1981, my parents were told that not only would I lose my legs to a genetic disease, but that walking, sitting up, or being a functioning member of society would probably be impossible. I stand here in front of you today as living proof that we can redéfinir les frontières du possible. It starts with the belief, with the courage to, when told no, stand tall and say yes. For me, it started with two people, my mom and my dad, who refused to believe what they were told. They saw the potential that I have and didn't see me losing my legs as an end, but merely as a new beginning towards adaptability. But it wasn't always easy. Because I looked different, in school I was bullied. When it came time for university, I felt really lost because I'd spent so much time in high school trying to fit in. After I graduated university, I wanted more out of life than just a paycheck and material possessions. But all of that changed in 2008, when a good friend of mine invited me to go on a me-to-we trip to Kenya to help build a school for Free the Children. And it was on this trip that I not only discovered my passion for changing the world, but how I could use my story. Now this happened when we arrived at the Free the Children schools, and all the kids came running out and they circled around me, and they were laughing and giggling and pointing and talking a mile a minute, a language I had no idea what they were saying. They were eager to give me a tour of their school. And after they gave me a tour, we sat in the grass and they asked me every question under the sun to get to know me. Where was I from? How did I get here? Where were my legs? Did I leave them in North America? But at the end, after I'd answered all their questions, a girl raised her hand. She looked at me and she said, I didn't know that this sort of thing, meaning the loss of my legs, could happen to white people too. And it was literally with this one phrase that I realized that I've been given these challenges and obstacles for a reason, to use them to give back and inspire other people to not only overcome their challenges, but to get involved with something that they're passionate about. And when I came back to North America after this trip, I knew that I couldn't go back to my normal life. It would be an injustice to what I had seen and what I had learned. So I joined the me-to-we movement, where over the last 3 years I've really traveled around the world sharing these stories. But also as a leadership facilitator for me-to-we, I've had the opportunity to work with some incredible young people, not only here in North America, but in places like Kenya and India and the border of Arizona, Mexico. And it was on a trip this summer with a group of students to Kenya that I finally understood something my friend Sarah said. She said, Africa will capture your heart, but it will also break it. Because while I was in Kenya, I started to see the effects of one of the largest droughts East Africa has seen in over 60 years. I saw the failed crops, I saw the food scarcity, I saw the skeletons of cattle laying alongside of the road. But what I also saw is how through holistic sustainable development models like Free the Children's Adopt a Village, they were combating some of these problems. And that's when I knew when I came back to North America this year that it wasn't just about spreading the message. For me this year, it was important to give back to the incredible community that gave me so much. Just like my parents had seen the potential in me, I've seen the potential in these incredible people. And if somebody would have told me 10 years ago that I could climb one of the largest mountains in Africa and help provide relief for a drought, I would have said impossible. But I'm proud and excited to announce that on June 10th, with the help of my two best friends, David and Alex, I will be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Possible for me, but in doing so, we're hoping to raise enough money to provide sustainable clean water to over 12,500 people in the Free the Children communities. So this year, I'm not only spreading the message, but I'm literally fundraising alongside of you. Because we are a generation at a crossroads. We're told that we can't change the world, but we know we are the first generation with the technology, the power, and the resources to end absolute poverty, climate change, and drought. They told a young Craig Kilberger that putting a dent in child labor was impossible. That taking a group of idealists and turning it into a movement was impossible. They said making a difference as one person wasn't possible. Well, to those non-believers, I give them 2,000 of you. Now, limits of our own human potential. We are a generation who even out the odds and define impossible as possible. There is no can't or won't, only how. So I ask you, are you going to be the generation that sits back when the odds are supposedly against us and do nothing? Yeah. Or are you going to be the generation that takes that courageous foot forward, stands tall, and redéfinir les frontières du possible? Yeah. Now, in the words of Dr. Seuss, today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way.